I don't know if that's a meme or not. All right, we are now doing harder quadratic trig equations. It depends on what you think about harder, okay? Some of us might even think these are easier. It's all just how your brain works. I think they're pretty much the same difficulty, but when we did algebra review, I put a bunch of stars on the top of the third page. Do you remember that? Maybe not, and I said this is the hardest one, not because it's hard, but because people just forget it even exists. How do you solve a question with x squared and regular x?
You gotta find the GCF.
Yes, we need to do G, C, F. And people just forget that GCF even exists. So, how do you do GCF? You look for letters that everybody has. And so, in order to do GCF, it kind of helps if you think about term A and term B, and we are looking for, are there any letters that A has and B also has? Well, it's pretty easy, it's obviously X. So we're gonna take away an X from both of them. Probably the hardest part is what is left behind after we take away one of the X's. There's leftover A. He used to have XX, but we took one of the X's away. He's only got X left. B used to have minus 3X. We took the X, so what has it got left? Minus 3. Now, we did the factoring. How do you solve a GCF after you've done the GCF? What you do is you take one piece and you set it equal to 0, x equal to 0. And then you take the other piece and you go completely separate. You put that one equal to 0. Okay, so what's happening now is that instead of having one thing give us 4 answers, like on the last notes, now we have one question getting split into 2 questions. And those 2 questions are gonna give us answers from both, kind of like 2 each, making 4 once we put the trig there. Okay, over to this side. Here's my advice when you're doing the notes today. What we wanna do is think about, first of all, we can't do anything until everybody is on one side. On one side. That means I'm gonna bring the 25 over here. 5x squared minus 25x equals 0. Then, just only worry about the x's, guys. Don't care about the numbers at all, right? So if I was gonna give you advice on how to do this question, I would say just think about the x's. They both have x's. Bring out an x. And don't worry about the numbers at all. When we get to the trig stuff, the numbers don't really matter very much. So don't worry about the numbers, just bring out the x. That's gonna leave us with 5x minus 25. And then again, split it in half. X equals 0. And 5x minus 25 equals 0. You got 2 little equations that you can solve and get 2 separate answers. Now, there is another way where you could have done a GCF. You could have pulled out a 5. That's fine, but it's honestly not worth it. When we do the trig stuff, it's not even really worth it. Okay, here we go. If you've been on the phone, honestly, there's a couple people, here we go. This question says cosine theta times tangent theta minus square root 3 cosine theta equals 0. Oh my God, what am I looking at, Mr. Collier? How is this so hard all of a sudden? Think about it like this. You got dude A and you got dude B, all right? Do they have any common stuff. Right, we probably recognize that cosine is hanging out on A and B. Tangent is only on A, so we're gonna take that cosine away. What we're gonna have is take out the cosine, cosine x, and then figure out what is left. What does A have left? Tangent. And what does B have left? Now, we're gonna get two separate equations, right? We're gonna take this, we're gonna split it down the middle. The one side is the cosine side. Cosine x equals 0. And the other side is the parentheses side. Tangent theta minus square root 3 equals 0. Both of them get an equals 0, and then you just solve these equations. Now when it comes to trig, we normally have two answers, and now we're splitting them in half. We're gonna get 2 over here and 2 over here, so we're gonna get how many? 4. We're still gonna get 4 answers today. So, on the left, when is cosine x equals 0? It's a quadrantal. Nope. 90, 270. On the right, we have a little bit of math to do. Right, we need to add the square root to the other side. Tangent theta equals square root 3. In fact, we just did this question. Tangent theta equals square root 3. When is tangent theta equals square root 3? 60. Do we want all 4 answers? No.
Because it's not plus or minus.
Exactly. This is not a plus or minus question. This is just asking only for the plus. And so that means we need only the first and third quadrants. Got all the garment on here. That means we're looking for 240 as our other answer, giving us 4 total answers.
Giving us some of that.
All right, everybody take a noodle and pass it around. Okay, we got to keep going. We got to finish these notes before lunch. We got enough time. Refocus. Are we ready to GCF at the start? No. One side. We need all on one side. You have to get all on one side. So subtract. 2 sine squared x minus sine x equals 0. 2 terms. Think about them like little girl A and little girl B. Does A and B have anything in common? Do they both have sines? Do they both have cosines? Do they both have tangents? They both got sines. So we're gonna take away a sine. What does A have left over when we take one of her sines away? 2. And 2 sine. Okay, thank you. Marius. Marius. Wake up. Clear. He was alive. He's alive. So, we're going to have 2 sine x.
That's it.
What does B have left? Minus 1. Come on, when you do GCF and you undistribute, it's like unmultiplying, which is like dividing, and if you divide, you get 1. If you start with 2 terms, you should still have 2 terms in the parentheses. We got to be better than that. That's like literally middle school math. Okay. Now we're going to get 2 split parts of the equation. We're going to have the sine x equals 0 part. And we're going to have the 2 sine x minus 1 equals 0 part. When is sine equal to 0? That's a quadrantal. 0, 180. What about 360? Isn't sine like this? Does 360 count?
I guess.
Oh, not what I meant to do, sorry.
It says not, no, yep.
Remember, I don't know what he was saying. Remember, it says 360 with a parentheses, which means no 360 allowed. All right, so we're back here. We solved the left side for 2 answers. We're losing our track. The Olive Garden got us off our game. Over here, a little bit of algebra. Plus 1, 2 sine x equals 1, divide by 2, sine x equals 1/2. And I need to find the 2 answers where sine is equal to 1/2. Not all 4, just 2.
30 and 150.
30 and 150. Nice job, heard a couple people say it.
150.
And that's how we get 4 answers.
Just record. Oh.
Yes, go ahead. And good luck in the game. We believe we're gonna defeat Deep Run. Now what this says at the back, right at the bottom here, is it says use your calculator. All right, these are the scary questions where it says cosine, tangent, 5, cosine. Oh my God, it's crazy. Think about it like homie A and homie B. Are they sharing sines or cosines or tangents?
Cosine.
Cosines. So we're gonna take away their cosines. We have to get this right about the leftover stuff.
There'll be a sign left over.
Tan theta minus 5. Right? Because he lost the cosine tangent. He lost the cosine negative 5. Now, we're going to have to split this into 2 equations. One of them is the cosine equals 0 part. That's a quadrantal part. That's normally very repetitive. And this other part is a tangent theta minus 5 equals 0. This is a unit circle. What is cosine 0?
X 90, X
92.7. Right? We've done that. I'll tell you right now, there's like 7 questions on the homework with those 2 answers. All right, it happens very often. This one is always trig equals 0, which means you're either gonna have 0 and 180 for sine, 0 and 180 for tangent, or you're gonna have 92.70 for cosine. So this is very repetitive. These first 2 answers, you get the same thing over and over again. This is where all the variety comes from. Tangent theta is equal to 5. Gotta use a calculator. Second tangent of 5 is rounding 79. I need another answer from the third quadrant because tangent is plus minus plus minus. 180 plus 79, and I did hear the correct answer a couple times. 259. All right. How many answers are you going to get on the homework? 4. Sometimes 3. Pretty much you're going to be getting 4 answers. On the last notes, you get all 4 of the same family, but for these notes, it gets split into 2 separate questions that give you 2 each. All right, that's it.